know you're committed to a whole food plant-based lifestyle when you eat this way on vacation. In this video, I'm going to show you how my family and I were able to go visit St. George, Utah for almost 4 days. And while on this vacation, I was able to nourish my family using nothing but an Instant Pot to prepare and cook all of our food. For anybody who's new here, I'm Carly. I make videos on whole food plant-based nutrition, specifically when it supports weight loss. Make sure you subscribe if you're into that kind of lifestyle. I put out videos every Monday and Thursday mornings. This is actually a 3-section video, so if you want to see how I was able to navigate the airport and the airplane, make sure you check out this video here. And then if you're interested in checking out the actual grocery haul I was able to do while on vacation, make sure you check this video here after you finish this video. My family and I woke up at about 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning to get on our first flight. So we had 2 flights altogether, and by the time we landed in St. George, it was about 2 o'clock. We were all starving, to say the least. As I'm sure most of you know, finding a fresh fruit or vegetable in an airport is nearly impossible. After eating all the snacks that I brought along, the trio mix, the banana nut muffins, the granola, and the fresh fruit, we were all very hungry. I highly recommend getting a hotel room with some kind of kitchen. Now, our kitchen didn't have any utensils whatsoever. It didn't have any pots and pans, silverware, dishes. We had to completely improvise. But it did have a stove, although we didn't have pots and pans, so that really didn't make a difference. And it had a full refrigerator. That was a huge bonus. So it had the freezer and the fridge. So it had plenty of room to store our food for the week. The only thing I prepped to bring along to the hotel room was my 3-quart Instant Pot that I used to travel with. And I'll link that below if you guys are interested. It's so valuable when it comes to eating healthy when you travel. So along with the Instant Pot, I also brought a measuring cup and 1 cup of unhulled oats so we could have oatmeal right away in the morning. So I threw that in the Instant Pot right when we got to the hotel. It's 1 part oats to 4 parts water when they're unhulled whole oats. So I threw the entire cup and 4 cups of water into the Instant Pot. That water to oats ratio is 1 to 4 because these oats are completely unhulled, so they take in that extra moisture. So again, it'd be 1 cup of oats to 4 cups of water. That's why the measuring cup was so valuable. After that was ready to go, I jumped in the rental car and found a nearby grocery store where I picked up the rest of our starches, things like rice, sweet potatoes, red potatoes, and black beans. I also got plenty of fresh fruits and veggies, some frozen veggies, some seasoning, paper products since there were no dishes or silverware, and some more snacks we would need for the plane ride home. When I got back from the grocery store, the first thing I knew I needed to take care of was getting those dried beans into some water to soak overnight, and I needed to get my oatmeal prepped and ready to go for the morning. Seeing as I only had 1 Instant Pot, I really had to plan ahead and pick and choose wisely when it came to what exactly I was preparing at each given point in the day. We went to a work event to have dinner, so I didn't have to prepare much at that point, but I am not able to eat a whole lot at public events because they don't really cater to the type of food I eat. So I just ate tons of fresh fruits and vegetables before we left, and I was fine. My daughter also had plenty of fresh fruits and veggies and some more of her crackers and snacks and almonds. And then my boyfriend was able to eat plenty of food at the event, so I wasn't concerned about making sure he was fed. By the end of the night, we were all ridiculously exhausted. We had had such a good time networking and getting to know everybody. These people came from all different walks of life, and it was really intriguing getting to hear all of their stories. So we went back to the hotel and finally got some sleep. St. George. Just finishing up my run. Very much out of breath from this desert air and these hills. We're staying right down that road. The following morning is when I was able to put together the oatmeal for everybody. So these unhulled oats are so creamy and delicious to add some fresh berries with. And for my daughter, she loves her bananas, so I included those with some peanut butter, some black beans, and she was very satisfied. And my boyfriend just had his oatmeal as well. I prepared those black beans first thing in the morning before I went for my run, so I was able to put those in my daughter's oatmeal, and I had a big bowl of them, as well as a giant sweet potato, lots of fresh veggies, fresh fruit. I knew I was going to be away all day long without much to eat, so I really packed in the calories that morning. But for the all-day workshop, I brought along some almonds, some grapes, cherry tomatoes, those little nectarines, and a few apples. So I had plenty of fresh food available to me. While I was away at the event, I'm a little controlling when it comes to my daughter's diet. So I gave my boyfriend, not that he can't handle it on his own, but I just like to provide some options so he doesn't have to try to come up with nutritious meals for her with whatever items he has available to him. So he was able to make some wild rice and frozen vegetables for my daughter while I was away, and he was able to take care of his needs with the foods I provided from the store. That evening, there was no way I was going to eat after that all-day workshop and eating that huge breakfast, but my daughter had some leftovers and plenty of snacks that she is so falling in love with since she never gets these like highly palatable salt, sugar, and oil containing foods. She's super excited to get those crackers and that granola. We're on vacation, so I let her have, some outside of the norm kind of treats. You guys, if you've ever ran in the desert before the sun comes up in the morning or just as it's rising, you know how unbelievably amazing of an experience this is. The sunrise, the heat, the dry air, everything was just so refreshing coming from Wisconsin and dealing with all the humidity and the ups and downs and the fluctuations of the weather. It was just the utmost perfect temperature to be jogging in. I am super simple when it comes to food. I had the same exact thing on Friday morning as I did on Thursday morning. And my daughter had her oatmeal. My boyfriend had his oatmeal. There is nothing wrong with leftovers. I also brought a similar amount of snacks with me to the last day of this workshop that I've been attending. By the way, guys, if you're interested in internet marketing in any way, shape, or form, or you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or blog, Income School is definitely my recommendation. This event was unreal. I'll leave an affiliate link below if you're interested. But just know that I do get some commission off this, but that's definitely not why I'm promoting it. I've been in this program for almost 2 years now, and I'm still learning, so I definitely would check that out if you're interested. While I was away at the event, my boyfriend was able to make Ionna some fresh steamed potatoes out of the Instant Pot with some more steamed broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, and she had some leftover beans, lots of snacks. It was super hot this day, so she wasn't too hungry. Justin made something similar for himself using the Instant Pot after he fed our daughter. He's such a good daddy. By the time I got home this day, I was so exhausted and just jam-packed with information and all sorts of ideas for how I was going to go about my business moving forward. So I literally binged like crazy. I was so hungry. I ate every fruit and vegetable in sight. And I don't know about you guys, but I am super happy to be on an intermittent fasting regimen because I don't have to think about whether or not I'm going to eat at the end of the day, because that's when I'm so vulnerable to these binges. And sure enough, you're on vacation long enough, you're exhausted enough, you end up falling for it. I also have this strange fear of wasting food. So at the end of our vacation, obviously we had leftovers, and for whatever reason, I couldn't bear the thought of getting on that airplane and leaving for home without consuming the majority of whatever groceries that were left that are not going to be used up in the morning for breakfast. So that's my vice. Please let me know I'm not the only person suffering with this fear. So Saturday morning, our last morning in St. George, I got up super early. I think it was another 3:30 morning, so we could get breakfast and get on the plane and get home. So we finished out the leftovers, the beans, the oatmeal, the sweet potatoes, and we were on our way home. For the plane, we had those leftover snacks, the granola, the almonds, as well as the crackers, and I brought along some apples and some grapes. I obviously had no time to fit in some exercise this morning, so while waiting around in the airports, I walk and walk and walk. Movement is so important when you're traveling because you sit so much. I believe Dr. Greger recommends not sitting any longer than 6 hours per day because it induces so many chronic health problems. So with that in the back of my mind, I made sure to get up on the plane, walk back and forth to the bathroom as many times as I could, take my baby girl to go potty, any opportunity, I would take it. But what's really fun is walking around in the airport on the, not escalator, I don't know what that thing's called, where it's like a moving walkway to get people from one point of the airport to the next quicker. And it was so much fun walking on those with my daughter because she was so terrified of them. But I highly recommend this for anybody trying to stay in motion while traveling. As you can imagine, we also had 0 options to eat while on the way home, so these snacks really came in handy. Even though I didn't get to experience a lot of what the state has to offer per se, I hear great things about Mount Zion, and we did get to go hiking a little bit. So someday maybe we'll fly back there. Who knows? So there it is. I was able to keep myself and my family nourished while we were on vacation with stupid, simple strategies. Like plan ahead, bring an Instant Pot. That is necessary. Those little travel size ones are like 70 bucks, I think I paid for that thing. But also throw together meals that you don't normally throw together just because it's easy. And you don't have to expend a lot of energy thinking and planning about how to make the meals. You just throw together healthy, whole foods. Make sure you get a starch, some fruit, some veggies, and some healthy fats, and boom, you have a meal. You don't have to get fancy, you don't have to go to restaurants, and you certainly don't have to go to fast food joints. Now, I totally understand that this takes practice and you're going to be a little anxious the first few times that you do this, but after a while you become more accustomed to traveling while eating healthy. And just knowing that your next meal is going to come, you just have to exert a little more effort to go get it. So I'd love to hear your guys' strategies on what you do when you're outside of the home. Make sure you add them to the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.